What's going on, everyone? Golden Ticket to History, coming to you here from Dr. Phillips Cemetery in Dr. Phillips, Florida, which is just west of Orlando, Florida. I'm in a cemetery that I've been to once before, about a year and a half ago. It was super cool, just like today. It's about 52 degrees right now. But in the 30s earlier, which is Florida, that's cold. And I came here to pay my final respects. And it was cold, it was rainy, and I still was like, I'm going to take and complete this video no matter what. So I came here to complete the video. But it never set well with me. I uploaded it, I shared the story, and it never set well with me. So I wanted to take and come back to fix that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please definitely think about it. Make sure to see about hitting that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't forget about it. Maybe even like the video. Maybe wait to the end to decide whether or not you do like the video to do so. But definitely, if you've been following my videos lately and you just haven't hit that subscribe button, maybe think about it. I definitely appreciate it, to be able to take and help take you all along with me as I seek out the history and film. So we are here at a final resting place. We're here at the final resting place of William Payne Stewart, one of the most iconic PGA Tour golf champions of all time, who unfortunately met a tragic end almost 24 years ago this coming October. One of the things about his grave is that there's a lot of misconceptions because he is from Springfield, Missouri, and he does have a cenotaph at his final resting place with his family plot, which I have seen covered with various other different YouTubers have covered it. Some very iconic YouTubers have covered it and have unfortunately mixed up that a little bit. So, I want to be able to take and come in here and, set the record straight. This is actually his final resting place. And it's so some of the ways how we know is that when his funeral happened, they actually canceled one of the PGA Tour dates because so many of the competitors in the PGA Tour were not going to compete in it so that they could come and pay their respects at the funeral. And that funeral happened here at Dr. Phillips Cemetery, here in Dr. Phillips, Florida, not in Missouri. Plus, his family lived not far from here. His children grew up not far from here. So, it just made sense, the fact that this is where he had built his life, that this would be where he would spend, his body would spend its eternity. So enough of that. Let's tell a little bit about his story. For us to be able to take and cover this story in depth, we need to take and go back almost 24 years ago, this coming October, and we have to look to the skies.
Ringed with barbed wire, marked by a stone set in cement, it is a burial ground. But what ended here, in this square of earth, began far away and high above.
47 Bravo Alpha, clearance follows. You're clear to the Dallas Love Field. We had a Jeff 6 departure, vector cross city, then as filed.
When Payne Stewart boarded Learjet N47BA in Orlando, October 25, 1999, his career was newly rejuvenated. Just that February, he'd won at Pebble Beach, his first tour win in 4 years. And then in June, at Pinehurst, the final hole.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my!
The U.S. Open, his third victory in a major. He also played a key role on the victorious U.S. Ryder Cup team in September. By any measure, a great year. Also, once known as a difficult personality, Stewart, 42 years old, had recently undergone a spiritual reawakening at the encouragement of his wife, Tracy, and 2 children, Aaron and Chelsea.
The last couple of years of his life, he was not as arrogant, not as cocky, a little easier to be around, I think. His faith really, took over the last couple of years of his life.
He had a peacefulness that he started playing with, and I guess that uptightness that sometimes came across as arrogance went away.
Stewart was heading from Orlando to Dallas that October day for meetings on a golf course he was helping to design in Frisco, Texas. Then on to Houston and the season-ending Tour Championship. 5 others were aboard the Lear that morning. Stewart's 2 business agents, Robert Fraley and Van Arden, golf course designer Bruce Borland, and the Lear's crew, Captain Michael Kling and co-pilot Stephanie Bellagarigue. The flight plan called for a course over the Florida Panhandle and then west to Dallas. air traffic in Jacksonville requested a climb up to 39,000 feet.
47 Bravo Alpha, Jack, center climb and maintain flight level 390.
390, Bravo.
Just 2 minutes after that transmission, air traffic control noticed a problem. The small jet had drifted 9 miles off its course. Controllers tried to contact the plane.
November 47 Bravo Alpha, contact Jack Center on 135.65.
Airplane is, how many people are in the back? Do we have a flight crew problem? Do we have an airplane problem? At this point, we start thinking, well, we really need somebody to go up there and tell us what's going on.
Shortly after 10 a.m., more than half an hour since the last radio contact with a Lear, an F-16 from Eglin Air Force Base outside Pensacola, Florida, was dispatched to chase the plane down and investigate. With N-47BA now hundreds of miles off course, with the FAA clearing a pocket of airspace around it, Chris Hamilton's F-16 caught up to the Lear over Memphis, Tennessee.
I got probably in the neighborhood of 50 to 100 feet away from the airplane, close enough to do a good visual inspection to see what was going on inside. As I come in, obviously as I get closer, then I recognize the fact that there's something wrong with the airplane.
And looks like the front cockpit is either frosted or basically condensed over. I can't see inside in the cockpit.
Hamilton's visual check confirmed controllers' worst fears. The frozen windows meant the plane's pressurization system had failed. The people aboard were likely dead. The plane was flying on autopilot. Just before noon, F-16s from the Oklahoma Air National Guard in Tulsa caught up with the plane, replacing Hamilton. Soon after, through cameras mounted aboard the F-16s, the Lear could be seen streaking from left to right across the sky.
Payne Stewart's airplane. I said, no, you're crazy. He says, no, there's something, they're showing it on TV right now and they think it's Payne Stewart's plane.
The Learjet continued to fly along a straight line, having already passed over Florida, Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, without any signs of life aboard.
You know there's people in there, but you think that, no, there can't be people in there because it's just on autopilot.
At 1:14 p.m., above the small town of Mina, South Dakota, more than 1,000 miles north of its original destination, and less than 4 hours after takeoff, the pilots reported to Regional Air Traffic Control in Minneapolis. The Lear had started its fall from the sky.
Minneapolis, the target is descending.
What's he doing?
And he's doing multiple aileron rolls. Looks like he's out of control.
It looked like one engine flamed out first, the right engine, and so it kind of started to roll to the right.
Minneapolis requests emergency descent to follow the target.
And it kind of turned over and started spiraling down to the ground.
Far below, John Hoffman was on his property in Mina with a group hunting pheasant when he looked up toward the sky.
We saw these F-16s flying right over the top of us. Then all of a sudden, cars came out of Aberdeen, a town close by. Hundreds of cars came by right where we were hunting. And the ambulance came and a fire truck came and we knew something had happened.
7 Bravo Alpha, with 6 frozen bodies aboard, fell 8 miles from the sky to the earth. When it landed, the impact left a pit 40 feet wide, 30 feet long, and 10 feet deep. There was no fire because there was no fuel left to burn. The plane essentially disintegrated upon impact. Were left behind, their loss marked by a stone lifted from the crater where the plane hit the earth. On the stone's face, the names of those who perished, and above the names, a Bible psalm is carved, Psalm 40. It begins, "He brought me up out of the pit of destruction, out of the miry clay, and he set my foot upon a rock, and gave me a firm place to stand." A place to ponder the infinite and the souls who dwell above it in the sky.
And if you follow my channel for any length of time, you know that I like to leave a penny showing that I've come to pay my respects. And it just so happens this is the last penny I have on me. So, you know, it's definitely something to there. You know, I've left a penny before, but this is, again, a very wet area. So there's no telling if the penny probably seeped down, maybe it washed off. You know, even walking here on the ground, you seep down a little bit. So this is definitely a very moist cemetery. So, you know, maybe it could be the pond, maybe it could be the fat slope, but this is definitely a very moist section of the cemetery. So, you know, it's not surprising that the penny's missing. But, you know, I like to leave it letting you know that I've come to visit. Maybe people who come who were family, friends, or other people who would come to pay their respects would know that other people have been there and have paid their respects as well. So, you know, I wanted to take and come back and do this video again to really do it justice. You know, the fact that I came in when it was raining is something, you know, I wanted to take and rectify. You know, I wasn't super happy with the outcome of how the video came down because, you know, it just felt like it was, you know, I was here, I was wanting to get the video done, and that wasn't right. You know, one of the things that I'm constantly seeking out with my channel is to constantly provide the best quality that I possibly can every single time. And, you know, the first time I came here, I, you know, was just getting started out. It was probably at least over a year, maybe a year and a half ago that I came here. And, you know, I allowed for sloppiness to happen, which is something moving forward as I get further in the channel. I want to make sure that a standard is held that I want to carry over into all of my videos. So I wanted to take and come back here and do it right. And this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, beautiful January day. Coming up on 15 days. Today is January 15th. Coming up on 15 days for and we've been his 66th birthday. You know, so being able to come out here and to pay my respects is definitely something that, you know, I wanted to be able to do. So, you know, hopefully you enjoyed this video. As always, continue for the history and film. And, you know, share the video, you know, make sure people don't lose. You know, part of the reason why I do my channel is that, you know, I'm always afraid that people are going to be lost to time and to history. And, you know, time never stops. And if we allow for people's memories to seep into the time, eventually the memory gets lost. And that's something that I never want to see happen. So that's kind of the whole mindset and the whole purpose behind my channel is to keep history alive.